Hello my dear children of ninth standard. In this video, we are going to start a chapter from your supplementary. The name of the chapter is chapter number 6, Weathering the Storm in Ersama, written by very famous Indian writer Harsh Mandar. Here, weathering means to face a difficulty and storm means cyclone. So in this chapter we'll talk about cyclone which had come in Odisha in the year 1999. And Ersama is a small town in Odisha. So this chapter, Weathering the Storm in Ersama, written by Harsh Mandar, talks about the super cyclone that hit Odisha, at present Odisha. The writer hails the efforts of a teenager, Prashant, who did all he could do to bring back order into the devastated lives of the people of his village Kalikuda. So, let us begin the chapter and I'll give you short introduction about the author Harsh Mandar. Harsh Mandar is an Indian author who took birth on 17th April 1955. He is a columnist, researcher, teacher, and social activist who works with survivors of mass violence and hunger, as well as homeless persons and street children. He is the director of the Center for Enquiry Studies, a research organization based in New Delhi. So, let us begin the chapter. Prashant went to his friend's house in Ersama on 27th October 1999. It was 7 years after his mother's death. In the evening, there came a superstorm. Heavy and continuous rain filled the darkness. Trees were uprooted. The waters entered his friend's house. The speed of the wind was 350 km per hour. So you can imagine. Now everything was destroyed there. The scene of destruction was horrible. Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge on the roof. Means had taken shelter on the roof. Prashant won't forget the horrible scene that he saw. He was great shocked to see a huge sheet of water all over. It covered everything as far as the eye could see. Houses were broken, dead animals and human bodies floated everywhere. Huge trees had fallen. 2 coconut trees had fallen on the house of Prashant's friend. Its tender coconuts kept them alive for several days. Now, for a couple of days, Prashant sat huddled. Means Prashant sat together in a group with his friend's family on the rooftop with his friend's family. They were nearly frozen in cold wind. Prashant thought of his family. He decided to go, though his friend's family asked him to stay back. Prashant was worried about his family, so he got a strong stick. He then started on his 18-kilometer journey to his village. The flood waters were swollen. Now Prashant waded, means swam through water. On the way, he found two friends of his uncle. They were also returning home. They had to push away many floating dead bodies of human beings and animals to move ahead. There were hardly any houses left in the village that they passed. Prashant wept, thinking that no one in his family would have survived. Now he was in tension. Finally, Prashant reached his village, Kalikuda. The roof was the only thing that was left of his house. So only roof was left. Everything was destroyed. Means his house was completely destroyed. Only somewhat of roof was left over. So he went to the Red Cross shelter to look for his family there. Now Red Cross shelter, we can say charitable organization where people had taken shelter. So he saw his maternal grandmother there. It was a miracle for them to see Prashant alive. They had thought Prashant to be dead. Prashant's family was there. Prashant decided to assess the damage and the danger awaiting the survivors. All the houses in the village had been washed away. Prashant organized a group of youths of his village. It pressurized the merchant to give them some rice. They made a fire and cooked the rice. However, the rice was rotting, means the rice was already spoiled. But they didn't notice, means they all were starving. His next step was to clean the place of filth, urine, and floated dead bodies. Filth means mud and dirt. So, he organized a team of volunteers to clean the shelter of filth, urine, vomit, and floating carcasses, means floating dead bodies, and to tend to the wounds and fractures of the many who had been injured. On the fifth day, a military helicopter dropped food, but it didn't return. The group deputed the children to lie there. They had the empty utensils on their stomach. It was to communicate to the passing helicopters that they were hungry. Finally, they got food through airdropping. Prashant became a savior. He brought the orphaned children and made a shelter for them. He asked the women to look after them, but he soon found that women and children were sinking, means were going deeper and deeper in their grief, in their sadness. He made them join the Food for Work program. It was started by a non-government organization, means NGO. He engaged other volunteers to help keep widow to start their lives. He also believed that orphans should be resettled in their own community. 6 months passed soon after the super cyclone. Prashant now thought about himself. Earlier, he had no time to bother about his own pain. The widows and orphaned children of the village thought of Prashant only in their hours of grief. So, my dear children, this was the summary of the chapter Weathering the Storm in Ersama. Read the chapter, watch the video. Thank you.